limitation. Now, let's go to audio lessons. And also the two ways by which we could listen to the audio lessons. Now, audio lessons may not deliver the subject matter very well due to lack of visuals. So for example, this particular slide, I'm showing it to you right now with these drawings and lots of words. Now, there is difficulties to present this when you're just hearing it. Just try, for example, not looking at the screen while you are hearing or viewing this presentation, and you will know what I mean. It might be very difficult, if not impossible, for math, science, and technology subjects, and I'm sure that DepEd knows it by now. I'm just explaining it further, but it might work for values, English, social studies, and history subjects. Now, there are two ways by which audio lessons could be presented to learners, and DepEd has already explained this by radio. And the advantage of radio audio lesson would be the wide availability of radio stations and devices. And of course, radio tuners or radios are very easy to use. Anybody can operate it. However, there are possible challenges in radio audio lesson. Number one is poor signal quality, and of course signal loss, which I have explained earlier. And then some people may not even have a radio. And non-replayable. If disrupted, you'll have to wait for a rebroadcast. And then the learner strictly follows the lesson broadcast schedule. Now, another way to listen to audio lessons, in case DepEd would still push through with audio lessons, would be by MP3 players. This probably would be the cheapest gadget that users could have. Even if they have no power, then they can use batteries, the solar chargers. Okay, MP3 player. Now, the advantages of MP3 player over radio would be the lessons are saved, are stored inside this and USB or SD cards. So the lessons are with learner. It may be replayed if there is difficulty in understanding. For example, you did not understand what I said while I was explaining about the radio broadcast, then with an MP3 player, you can just rewind it or go back to that part. Now, you can also learn it, the audio lessons, at the most convenient time. So, for example, you're doing something important at this time when there's an audio broadcast of a lesson, then you can just study it or learn it maybe at night, and that will be no problem. Now, there are also challenges in MP3 audio lesson, like buying the device as well as earphones, cables, and so on, and how to power it. So you need appropriate device to power it, like power banks, solar panels, and so on. And then how to get the audio lesson file to the learner or to the MP3 player, which of course the audio files that can be played by our MP3 player would be an MP3 file. No, this is a common format, for example, of songs that you hear being played on your smartphone. They are in MP3 format. Next, we go to ideas in development and distribution of video lessons. This is just explained more clearly over the past explanation. Now, maybe it's possible if DepEd would like, DepEd or authorized persons, they list and proclaim the curriculum and lessons track. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say for example that mathematics from first year high school to fourth year high school. I'm using the old type of setup, not the K to 12. Okay, now from first year to fourth year would need, let's say, 1,000 videos. Maybe DepEd could list down all of those topics, and then for the viewing of people who want to help, and then so that I right now I'm sure that they are discussing it and doing it. This is just from my point of view. And then subject matter experts, teachers, kind-hearted volunteers develop video lessons, and then they can send it or upload it to YouTube, to the World Wide Web, or DepEd servers, or wherever it's designated. And then after developing the video is distributed after review, and if given go signal by the DepEd or any authorized person. And then the finalized video lessons are organized and copied onto distribution machines. And then the authorized persons distribute video lessons to barangays and localities via web or courier. Now, at this point, there should be, I'm thinking that DepEd and barangays have a link, like a web link, because it's from DepEd to barangay. So that shouldn't be a problem, because this computer where the video lessons or learning materials will be saved um, is being managed by government at this point. Okay, now sorry. Number 6, the barangay circulation of video to learners may be via USB, SD card, or internet-less Wi-Fi. Take note of that word, internet-less Wi-Fi, or by computer kiosks in barangay centers, or if they would allow, maybe someone could talk to 7-Eleven or other volunteers' houses. Mobile computer, it will be explained later, cards, and so on. What I mean is that these finalized video lessons will then be for circulation or distribution. It will be stored in these computers. And then number 7, authorized admins are the only ones who control barangay circulation machines for updates or other issues, and training is very important. Now, um, this explains how this has ideas to transfer video and learning materials to learners at the barangay level. And these are called barangay internetless Wi-Fi video learning materials distribution stations. Take note that these computers do not need the internet, but rather just need a Wi-Fi router so that it can transfer the learning materials, the videos, to smartphones. Okay, now the video and learning materials copied from workstations to smartphone via Wi-Fi, and there's no need for internet. Now, what's crucial here is that these gadgets, the learners, the users, the parents have to be taught. They must learn how to copy files from this computer onto their smartphone. They must learn how to configure this smartphone, and there are many tutorials on that. Using the Wi-Fi connected to this computer, they could have access to learning materials that is inside this computer. Or the video and learning materials could also be copied onto USB or SD card. Now, these are called, number 1, this will be called barangay fixed spot workstation. if ever 7-Eleven allows. I'm saying 7-Eleven because they are widespread. They're all over, and maybe people could just go there and use their smartphone or tablets to copy by Wi-Fi the files, the learning files, especially video, that are inside this computer, that are stored in this computer, and then they go back to their homes and then they view those videos, those stored videos, at their most convenient time. Now, maybe some people, like volunteers, would also allow computers to be put in their houses, okay, or if church allows, because churches are everywhere also, and then the social distancing could also take place because people don't have to be near each other to connect to this Wi-Fi router to copy the files. Now, other spots with power supply and should be free from rain or dust. Electric submeter might be needed because it will consume power. Now, by the way, um, I'm showing a desktop here, but it could also be a laptop that has a battery. Now, the two way of distributing data to learners without internet, again, is through mobile workstation, wherein a laptop or a desktop would be placed, let's say, on a bike, in a pedicab with with a battery, and then it will go from place to place where there are learners, and then the learners would access all the materials here via Wi-Fi through a router or maybe a USB or SD card. It has the same function as a fixed spot workstation but can travel from place to place. Maybe this is recommendable for rural areas, you know, um, maybe in a motor, and a laptop could be brought to a certain learning area so that learners in that spot or in that area can access all the learning materials that are in this desktop or laptop. A laptop probably would be more recommendable because a laptop has a battery. Now, even if it is a desktop, it could be equipped with a battery, and just have to take note of how long it will last. Now, let me just reiterate this, explain further. This PC or laptop do not need internet but can transfer the video lessons or other learning materials stored in them via Wi-Fi to Android devices. The PC or laptop is connected via cable or Wi-Fi to a router. A folder containing all K-12 materials are shared, and all subfolders may be for K-12 sublevels. Learners need training how to copy or transfer files to USB, SD card, or phone. They also need training on how to configure their smartphones or tablets to connect to the Wi-Fi.